Good evening. Welcome to Boa Nation TV. Let's let this lag up come through. Good evening and afternoon. Welcome to Boa Nation TV. This is George or the real George Jungle. We also have MR Serpents joining us as a co-host. Believes we're experimenting here a bit of a lag. We'll allow that to catch up here shortly. And I believe that we have a clear screen now. Welcome to Boa Nation TV. I will be adding here MR Serpents here shortly, also known as Manny Ruela.
What's up?
My brother, welcome. This is the first episode of Boa Nation TV.
And a lot
It
more
is
to
a
come.
and a lot more to come. This is one of the first sessions. We'll lay it down as an intro. We did want to kind of set a baseline. It looks like I'm having a bit of static. Do you see me lagging on your end, brother?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay.
Hmm.
So we did want to set up this episode. Bear with me here as it does load up on our end, but we did want to set up this episode as a baseline, kind of to introduce where we're coming from and what we're setting for our expectations, whether if it's going to be a show or a podcast, what exactly along the lines is this? And it took a lot, but just to set it straight, man, he dragged me through the dirt to set this up. It wasn't something that I was open to, and it was something that I kind of said, we'll give it a try. It's not something hard to do, but at the same time, it does take a lot of it. And for anybody who is in the chat, I do want to say thank you and welcome, as well as anybody who is watching from Facebook or YouTube. It will also be uploaded to Spotify, Apple Music after the upload. Those lives will eventually become automatic, so you will be able to see them through Spotify, Apple Music. Some of the collaborators that we're currently working with, not sponsors, just to set it clear, but a cross, you could say, promotion would be Mint Boas. That's one of Manny Rella's mentors or big mentors here, helping him out in regards to the Boa game. We also have Untamed and Unhinged, shouting us in and out. Uh, we're okay. It looks like we're getting some feedback here. Do you see a vision of the or a view of the comments there, brother?
No, I don't.
Let's see. Okay, there we go. So Greg, Stiff, Adam, Ingleton,
Yes,
Maria, thank you
sir.
so much for joining. As we were saying there, the outline with Untamed and Unhinged, they did give us a shout out today in one of their podcasts that they did have. So we're doing that in return. Go ahead and give them a follow on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all the social medias, Untamed and Unhinged, as well as Mint Boas, which, like I mentioned, is one of Manny's great mentors. Brother, if you want to give a bit of your introduction here before we get the stage going.
Well, this was something that was in talks in what, less than a month,
Oh yeah,
more or
it was
less.
something that was just worked up,
Yeah.
and you you were pushing me to go back onto the podcast, but we were mentioning something about getting something going with the boas.
Yep.
There's a big reason why we're doing Boa Nation TV. It looks like there's a lot of channels set out for just reptiles or any particular species like ball pythons or emerald tree boas, but it seems like the boas have been left out. So until today, the idea did spur out from Manny. He's like, "Hey man, there's something that is missing in the boa community," and it seems like it's a group of elder folk who happen to be within the boa community that stay away from the drama and they kind of keep to their own peace. And Manny's idea was, what if we set a stage for those older folk who have genius ideas or previous boa experience, whether if it's breeding or keeping, and share that with the public without the bullshit. In essence, that's pretty much where we're going with this. It's a free game. Everybody has their opinions and all that, but less bullshit, more snakes. That's kind of
Yeah.
the stage.
And just to give it an opportunity for like upcoming breeders, big breeders. This is for everyone that's boa related. Everything that has to do with boas. And we're willing, I'm not gonna say, oh, just because just dropped 1 litter, you're not. No, you're a breeder. Automatically, you drop 1 litter, you're a breeder. And
Yeah,
those are the
and
type of people. Bring them up on here and give them exposure, help them out. And then not
exactly.
only that, this is good for people that are just getting into boas and want to get ideas and learn because what works for me might not work for you. So you got to pick
Hmm.
from every
Yeah,
single breeder to see what's going to work for you. So there's a
and
lot
that's
of
where you
experienced
you
guys
take
out
that
there.
you take that nitpick exactly. There's a lot of
Mhm.
experienced guys out there
Yep.
that don't show their information,
Yep.
especially the older guys that don't know how to manage the media or the social applications. And because they're not able to go through the, it's kind of like they're, a lot of people think they're gatekeeping. In reality they're
Yep.
not. It's just that it just takes one guy to reach out to the fellas and say, hey, I want to learn more. But there's
Yep.
not a lot of balls out there anymore, so everybody just hides
Yep.
behind a phone and starts bashing each other instead of helping each
Yep.
other. So
Yeah, I'm
that's
not.
kind of the
I'm
main
not
frame that
about
we're
that.
setting. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
that's
about that. George's not about that. We just want to put more information out there for everybody, especially
yeah,
the
and
boa. That it's
it's something to progress, and I agree with you, and I'll come forward with this you can say opening.
hmm
Um, let's put myself as the ignorant person. Like I've never kept in my life, and I want to ask as many questions as possible so I can figure out how to keep a boa. Let's just play
hmm
that game. Let's just say, okay, George is the idiot in this podcast, and we're trying to make George an expert in bookkeeping. I'll play that character so that way, the audience can actually get that frame because everybody comes in as a beginner. And if you can show them off or experience that with the actual audience, then I'll be the idiot. And that's the case. A lot of the things are that we don't know more than we just experience. So until we experience or hear it from somebody, or like you, brother, um, the same reason that I supported you in this was because Manny was the guy who started off with Tegus, and from Tegus, my guy migrated to Colubrids. From Colubrids, he went to ball pythons. From ball pythons, we went playing down to what? Retics, Burmese pythons. It looks like we trickled down the entire reptile species board,
yeah. you
which
forgot
was
you forgot
fun.
the beard you forgot the bearded dragons.
That was the first one, the bearded dragons, which was
Yep.
fun. But yeah, getting to experience all of those species, and now coming to for full flourish or full circle, you're finally
Yep.
breeding what you want. You're finally
Yep.
working on the genetics, and just to lay it out there, Manny has been putting in big bucks and lots of help from people that are in the same industry,
A lot of
with his
knowledge.
genetics. And that's what
Yep.
it takes: the knowledge, the experience, and good looking animals. Stop picking up these heads and thinking they're going to produce nice animals for you. It's actually investing into the animals that are going to make something for you and valuable for you, not just
Yep.
something that you're going to sell off because it's a het and it has this genetic. No, potentially you want to make the most beautiful animal. So let bullshit aside. We're here for breeding, we're here for the culture, and as well the experience that other people have. Brother, do you have
Yep.
any input in?
I mean, it was a pretty fun journey. I'll tell you that till I got to this point. you know, um, nah, I mean, it's basically I'm not doing. I didn't come up with the idea just for me, or not just for George. We're doing this for everybody. And I'm a type of person. Whoever knows me really well knows that I like to help and I like to talk and whatever I know. And not only that, I'm still learning myself. I can't tell you I know everything because I don't. I'm still learning.
Mhm.
When I don't know things, I go and ask. I don't assume I know. Like a lot of these. Let me go on Google and see what it says. I don't do that. Yeah, I actually
And
go to
it
people that have the knowledge to guide me in what I'm doing and to
and
make
we're
sure
here
that
to
I'm
ask
doing it
those
right.
questions. We're here to ask
Yeah.
those questions to see exactly if it's true, or if we try those things out ourselves and it works for us. Um, Manny, I feel like you came in with such an open mind, and a lot of people brought you in, and you're flourished a lot with the genetics that you have right now. But the knowledge. You once said, I don't know about boas, man. They're kind of iffy. And it
Hmm.
was so hard for me to actually get a hold of boa. I actually remember sending you a boa, and then after that, you kind of like triple down to Nicaraguans. And how many do you have now?
Now I have 11.
11 boas. And
Yeah,
a couple of these boas are ready for breedings. That means that
these two
Manny
right
about to lose
here.
his virginity right here.
Yep, these two right here, right behind me. These
Man,
two are gonna go this season.
that's got to be exciting.
Yeah, took a
And
while, but you know what? It's here and it's gonna happen, and I'm excited. I am very excited, and again,
I'm
I want
excited
to
for
thank
you,
a
man.
lot to my mentor, um, Tim from Imboas. That he helps me a lot, teaches me a lot. We talk all the time. I'm always learning, to make sure I'm doing things the correct way. That's all. And
Ma- Man, do you see me lagging a lot? Like I'm
yeah,
just a
you're like,
cloud.
yeah, it's like you're freezing up a lot.
Wow, what's going on?
Yeah,
Let me check something. So,
but we're gonna bring on a lot of other breeders, lots. So we're pushing to do this every Saturday for like what, like a month, George, or so.
I want to say so, yeah.
Yeah.
And let's set the standard of it not being an actual podcast or show. That's the whole mixture of this thing. A lot of people come in and ask questions, and it's not about just asking that question, but having a conversation that leads to the question. So that's the main thing here is making it as smooth as possible, where it feels like we're chilling all together and actually just talking about snakes and learning in the process.
It's
Um,
basically a uncut.
it is uncut. You could say uncut, brother. It is going to be uncut. Make it a
Yeah.
show, make a podcast, whatever you want to call it. This is Boa Nation TV. The
Yep.
reason we went with this actual name was ideas that were spurred up from previous creators that passed away. Uh, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the commercial Snake Bites TV and Brian Barczyk, but that was the whole idea behind Boa Nation TV. And Manny shares the same, a praise for that man and things that we learned, and also other creators along the way, like Manny as well does share the same experience between keeping all of these species as myself. I did keep a lot. Currently, I have no animals, which is one of my exclusions of my life right now. I'm actually giving the news today, but I had a son on March 23rd, and that's actually been a kept secret for good reasons. But I'm enjoying my little baby and going through the process of moving at the moment. So it's a hard time to actually keep and care for these animals. So got to be honest with my life. In the future, maybe we'll start keeping again. Definitely, it's got to be boas. That's for sure. Boas for sure. Boas, rhinos, and dinos. It's always been in my heart to keep it Asian water monitor in appropriate enclosure. I had my Saphira or my Asian normal water monitor in a 4x4 or a 4x2 enclosure, and eventually went out to an outdoor enclosure. Uh, he actually was sent to another breeder, so now I do have the experience to see the animal, but no longer in my kept. But hopefully, within the future, we go back to these animals. Like I said, I'll come in as the an experienced keeper, and then eventually I'll work through a species that I want to work with.
I think we lost George, but you're back, George.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You went
Did
bye
you guys
bye.
hear that beeping there?
No.
It was an Amber Alert there for a second.
Oh.
My brother, any input, any comments that you guys might have?
Yeah. Anybody want to ask any questions? I mean, what's the chat saying?
Chat, we got Diamond Boas in the chat. We got Mint. We have
Diamond,
Greg,
Tim, Greg. What's up, brothers?
Maria also in the chat. It looks like we have a plethora of people coming in here from the beginning. We also had Adams England.
Yep.
Let's see, Nate Miller and
Nate. Yep,
Untamed
that's Nate.
and Hinge. It looks like Chris is also on here. Thank you guys for joining. But at this point, I want to see if we can get to talking in regards to why Boa Nation TV was an outburst, or why exactly did we decide to come with. But the true story, yeah, like we were saying in the beginning, it, it um it started off with just a conversation on whether we needed to have something for boas or a podcast. And I told Manny, you know what? It takes a lot of work in investigation. It's not just keeping a record of people and bringing them on, and that's it. Like, I feel half-assing things might not work in the long run. How I feel about this camera right now, but when we actually sit down and bring these people on, I feel like it's our duty to figure out what they're about, so that way we can make it the best experience for you guys, the people that are watching. And if we can do that at the best capability that we have, then we will. I know that Manny has accumulated lots of knowledge within the past month or two. As breeding season has come to flourish, a lot of guys are dropping litters. Um, just to put those names out there, within the future, we would be having what Manny likes to call big guys, but those are the boa breeders that set the standard for most of the industry. But let's look forward to those guests that we have on. Let's not just blew their names out, but it is exciting to know that we're going to have those people on and experience their protocol and what they actually want to share. I feel like I was very shallow with the previous podcast that I had with Spirit Animal Podcast, but now that I have a bit of experience in regards to what questions I asked and how I spoke and how I looked at myself and my audience, I feel like it's going to be a greater path now that it's less hands-on and more about the animal, getting to know the animals itself. And just to set that view with my previous podcast, it was more of a personalized podcast where I was bringing people on to verify who they were, just to get a glance of how they thought or what they believe. And the reason behind that is so that it can be interesting for the viewer. Um, a lot of people have different dogmas, beliefs, religion, politics. I can rest assured that will not be on this show. A lot of our viewers were, not happy with those outcomes in regards to certain podcasts relating to reptiles, which I understand. But the Spirit Animal podcast will be itself, and Boa Nation TV will also be its self identity. Brother, do you have any comment on that as well?
Yeah, I mean, this all came to a day. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I decided to call George, but George, I got an idea, man. And he's like, "What's the idea?" Because everybody knows I come out with the craziest ideas sometimes. Even my wife could say that. She's like, "This guy's always up to something."
Yeah.
And I was like, "George, I got an idea." He's like, "What's up?" George has experience with podcasts. This is my first time ever being on anything like this. I never did this before. And I was like, "Dude, we should start a podcast, man." He's like, "Podcast?" He's like, "I got mine." I'm like, "No, boa Nate, like a boa, just boas, all about boas, bringing on big breeders, all types of breeders, because this community is not only for the big breeders. What about little guys like me? You know, like there's other podcasts out there, like I don't say names, but that like to bring on only names, huge names. And we're not like that, man. This is for everybody, for the whole boa community. Um, just to give a lot of information, like and he agreed with it. He's like, "Oh man, that sounds pretty cool." He's like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to get back into podcasting." So I had to kind of, you know, mess with him a little bit. so he said, "Okay, I guess, yeah, let's do it, man. It is what it is." And honestly, I can't think, I don't know how to thank George for he's been nonstop working on this and doing all the posters you see, everything going around. That's that guy right there. You know,
It
because
takes
I
time, brother, and it's a lot of back and forth with remembering things. Like, look at this right now with the camera. There's something going on with the signal. I know it's the Wi-Fi, but or the internet itself, but things like that. Like I remember, and I have to go back to a YouTube and remember some things. So it takes work. It takes some time, and I appreciate that, brother. But within time, you'll get to know the systems, you'll get to know everything, and soon enough, you'll be doing podcasts by yourself.
don't know about myself, but I mean, as some of these guys, like some of the guys are probably on here know, some don't. You know, I'm gonna be having surgery soon, so
Hmm.
George will be taking over, and Tim from Mint Boas will be hosting with him. You know, while
That is right.
for like a week or two till I can actually sit up and actually do this. I don't want to do this while I'm laying in the bed or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that. Um,
I mean, you could do that at least one episode just to rough it out, or we can bring you in while you're
we
laying
could
in bed.
we could try it. We'll see how it is. We'll see how it goes. um, yeah, but you know, it's like as soon as we said okay, let's do this, we started putting it out there, and believe it or not, we have a lot of people that are very, very happy about this. You know, and like, man, we're actually gonna have a stage for us. You know, for the boas. You know, and there's a lot of people that are happy about it.
And
I
that's the thing that this is a business of return, meaning that we're breeding animals, but at the end of the day, if we don't have income to provide for the animals, then
mhm.
what and that's the thing that in order to provide for these animals, we need a stage, we need advertising of
Yeah,
what you have. But the
yep,
more we see, the more we view, then we have that capability of creating a larger network. It's not just about, hey man, I'm gonna sell you the snake, so let's make this pack of three dudes where only us three dudes can buy from each other.
yep,
That's usually what happens in this community, where
yeah,
you create these little isolated groups where they only want to inbreed with their shit or breed with their stuff, but nobody else wants to touch their stuff because they have something or animosity against each.
yep, yep, yep.
And
No,
within the boa community, that does not exist because these
yep,
guys, like I said, they're older, they're more mature, they're understanding of they just want their snake and getting out of the room. That's it.
yeah. Yeah, and then this is something else too that like came to mind too, and I spoke to George about it. It's like there's so many other genes out there that a lot of different breeders are working with that still some people don't understand about them. Like I don't understand about some of them. So it's good that, to bring them on here and explain what those genes are. Like recently, JCP Boas with the NFI. Well, one day we will have them here to explain it again to everybody.
Oh
you
yeah.
know, Joe and Nate, they'll explain it. And then there's other ones out there that people are still like, what is that? Like, what does that do? And why not bring the people that do it out over here to everybody and actually explain to them like what it is, what it does, so people can have a little more knowledge, man. Because ball pythons, you go on YouTube, you can figure out everything about them, But
Oh
what
yeah.
about the boas, man? We need some
And
love
it's
too.
interesting because you would think that people would be more attracted to a boa because they have a live litter versus incubation beds.
The thing with boas is that you need a lot of patience.
Yeah, and I'm not, that's something that no one has. No one has
Yeah.
patience.
Yep.
You know,
So a
we're
lot
easy
of
to.
I noticed that a lot of ball python guys now and stuff, they tried the boa stuff. They didn't have the patience for it. It's not like you
Oh
can
yeah,
get a female and get them to a certain weight and a year old and boom. No, a female you got to wait 3.5 to 4 years to do something. Sometimes five.
in the
You
long run,
know.
looking at it with an animal, it's an investment. It's a
Yeah,
large investment.
yeah. And it's you gotta have patience. You gotta have love for it. If you don't love it, especially boas, it ain't for you. Stick to your ball python stuff. I mean, not hating on anybody with ball pythons, but I just don't really much about them.
It's a what could we say? A particular sub.
I think we lost George again.
Yeah,
there,
that does look better.
there it is. Yes, sir. Is anybody saying anything in the chat?
Wow. Yeah, so we have Adam asking, how long does a female need to be to breed? And you just answered that question. So it does need to be 3 to 4 years
Three,
in order for it to
really?
get to that ovulation stage.
3.5, 4.
Then we have Diamond Boa saying, no one wants to see Manny laying in bed.
I bet you do, Diamond. I'll make sure I
Diamond
turn
said,
on the
boas
pink.
are definitely a passion.
Hey, Diamond, I'll make sure I turn on the pink lights too, so you can see them.
There you go. Ashley just joined. She said, "What's up? What's up, Ashley?"
Ashley, what's up?
Yeah, the chat is pretty steady.
That's okay. It's
Um,
good. I want to thank everybody that's on here for
yeah,
sure.
it is a blessing to have people looking up to better for the future. Not us, but what's coming in regards to the knowledge that we might share.
Yep.
Um, Another thing here in regards to logistics, we're trying something new. It's called Riverside. Riverside is actually a new application. If they do want to sponsor us, it's Riverside.
Yeah.
Just in case we get a little bit later here within the future. But, those are the equipment or systems we are using. Riverside Podcasting, Riverside Premium. We also have the junction between Manny and I, meaning that he has his own co-host stage, giving the abilities to build his own podcast on his end. MR Serpent will eventually start breeding and producing more within the next year. So, Manny did promise us a YouTube channel coming here pretty soon, where he starts showing off more of his snakes. Legend, his own life, getting to know his audience. And he also wants to work on his Instagram, his TikTok. I know his TikTok, he's been hitting his lives at least once or twice a week, but those lives, they go on for an hour and a half. You know, a couple of guys from the whole community just hitting off the bat, talking about snakes. But that's something that we forward to as well with Manny upcoming forward. With myself, I've kind of left the breeding mentality or the keeping mentality for this period of my life at this moment. But within the next year or so, then we'll start keeping some more animals. In regards to what we're going with exotics and aquatics, it was a virtual store that we were working on within the past year. The website is current, but you are able to order now from Matrix enclosures. We were working with a couple of the enclosures from Dubia Roach or Dubia, but we're no longer in stock. So now we'll be heading to the Matrix racks and carrying those on exotics and aquatics. I'm also working with a botanical known as Majestic Botanics or Majestic Botanical. That's also a virtual site in regards to a herbal or holistic shop. It's more of a religious version, but that's something else that one of my venues. Uh, Another thing that we hit up off top, something that I'm working on is my music. I'm currently in school and working for my musical education to become an educator in music. Um, at this moment, we have released a bit of tracks. So I'm also live on Apple Music if you guys want to listen of the reggaeton that we put out. But that's some of the things that I've been diving.
You kind of went off, George. Yeah, it sucks. I can't see the. How come I can't see the chat? That's not fun. I think George is having some difficulties over there.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you clear.
It looks like my camera went off for a temperature overheat on my phone, so the camera's off there. But you guys can still hear my audio, right?
Yes, sir.
Brother. So, like I was saying, I'm just giving a bit of a background of where we were at, but that was pretty much it, man. Any other input you might have for today before we call it a night?
Yeah, I mean, we will. I'm working on it to go um, to JCP's um, facility to do a video over there. Um, that we'll be putting up over here on this channel too, so people can see. Again, Boa Nation TV, so you're gonna get to see a lot of other things too. Um, there's gonna be things like that, like George by him has Boa guys too, that he can go do a video there. Just it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, man. And I really, like I said, I appreciate everybody that's supporting us, that's gonna be behind us with this. It's gonna be fun. I promise you. I promise. It's gonna be fun. These guys are gonna love it. As long as you guys continue supporting us and have our backs. And we'll keep doing the best we can to bring the best videos up for you guys of everything and bring some of the best out there. Probably even
It
bring
takes
some.
a lot, in being able to bring these people on, and it's a blessing, and having those
Mhm.
connections.
Yep.
It's often given for granted, but those connections have taught us a lot. Manny is currently learning a lot. The breeding industry or the breeding community happens to be ruthless at this time, where not a lot of people um, can hang. Meaning that you get a lot of hate and pushback, but it does mean you're doing something right. If you're
Yep.
not getting that hate and pushback, then you ain't doing shit. But now that you got your foot grinding, brother, you can see those dogs behind you. That you see the hate, and the reason you're seeing it is because you might be moving forward, or you are moving forward, and that's something that I'm proud of you, man. Because
Thank you. Thank
two
you.
3 years ago, I would ask you, let's hop on the podcast, or I wanted to bring you on, and you would say, I'm not ready, man, or I'm not ready for that. And then out of nowhere, a year after I asked you, I remember you hopping on your first TikTok live, and that kind of like spread your wings out, because you hit it rolling. You started getting more comfortable and getting speaking to people on the live, and that was inspiring to myself, because I saw you moving and rolling, and I was like, he's actually doing it.
Yeah, because I wasn't too
Uh,
much of doing this type of stuff. George can tell you because George knows me for many years. It's not. It was never my thing, But it's just I met a lot of great people on TikTok. I met my mentor, Mint Bo was there. I met Diamond, great guy, great friend. I consider him a great friend of mine. I met good people through TikTok, and that's why I was like, what, they made me feel comfortable. So I still kind of, even now I'm kind of like, but I'll get better. I'll get better. Trust me, I'll
Man,
get
you
better.
got
That's
some
why.
traction. When we start getting those snake bites from the nose, that was pretty
Woo,
interesting.
yeah.
That was one of the first videos that went a bit viral for Manny there.
I bet you Diamond right now is laughing in those comments about that because he sure remembers that. He still talks about it to this day. Yeah.
Chris said, "Well said, George," and Adam said, "You're doing great, brother."
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate it, guys.
you. Adam said, "I'll be here, brother," and Diamond said, "Yes, I do." And Natalie Miller said, "Yo, sorry, a few minutes behind, but I'm caught up now." And Diamond Boa says, "You're doing great, Matty."
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with if I do something wrong, these guys tell me. I'm fine with that. I can take it.
Well, that's the thing, man. We got to keep ourselves on our toes. If we think we're all right in the same feeling, we're doing something wrong. Because I know that every episode that we put out for the Animal Podcast, man, I would look at myself and I said, "How many fucking times did you say How many times did you say
Yeah. I mean, but I guess it's like the more I do it, the more I'll because basically, like my idea with this whole thing was, a lot of people kind of study before they go on the live, like, okay, this is what's gonna happen, this is what we're gonna say, this is what the questions are. No, I'm about wing it, just wing it. Ask questions, whatever comes to your head, bang, bang, bang. Just because if a person knows their things, they're gonna just tell you.
Exactly. You don't need a script for that.
No, don't. That's why I'm like, you know what? You ask a breeder a question, let them answer you right there on the spot. Don't tell them, oh, these are going to be these questions we're going to be asking you so they can prep. No, this is right from the head, whatever it is. That's why I say this is uncut. There's nothing scriptured here, none of that crap. We're going straight for it, and we're gonna go for it hard. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Doesn't mean we're not going to put in our work to figure out what questions to ask the public.
Oh, of course, but we're gonna have the questions for them, but they don't know what we're gonna ask them.
And that's what puts it on edge, A show is more direct like that, It puts the pressure on the foot line. And whether we get pushback or we get talk shit to, that's the fun part. Curse at me, tell me I'm doing something wrong, brother, because I might be pushing on your toes to get a reaction from you. And that's what makes this interesting and fun, where we get to see the actual charisma or what makes the person through a show versus something that's scriptured. And you're like, man, if you don't have any other questions, what questions do you want to ask, or should I ask you what questions should I ask you? No, man, it's more natural. It's more pure, you could say. Just off the beat. Within the couple of episodes that we had done with the spirit animal, I recall the first couple of episodes being so monotone, where I had these people, sitting down for 20 questions, where it was 3-hour podcast, but I didn't have a conversation with the person. It was just question after question after question after question. And that's what most of these podcasts are. Like, they're asking questions, and you don't get into whether Manny had 2 girlfriends when he was 16, and that's when he fell in love with snakes.
I had 4, by the way.
4 girlfriends. Because if you guys don't know it, my brother here has lived a long life. He started off as a folklore and went on to becoming a reggaetonero, and then a mass murderer in a bicycle club.
Good old days. It was fun. But I've always had a heart. That's one thing about me. Everybody to me I respect everyone, and even though sometimes I know I hear people, but that what's up is always still there.
Oh yeah, because they'll talk shit behind the walls, but they won't say it to your face.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, this, like I said, this here is more for positive, and.
But if we have to talk shit, we'll do it.
If it has to get to that point, but we try not to. Well, we're gonna have fun with it.
Talking positive. Make sure that they get to health, happy.
Yeah, maybe we'll do some uncut videos for that stuff, like real uncut. Yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, we have 2 breeders already lined up for next Saturday. We got one, and on the 23rd we got another one already lined up. So it's gonna be fun. We're doing it.
Mitt is coming up next.
Yes, sir.
Mitt is the guy when it comes down to boas and albinos, right?
The sharp gene.
Sharp gene, sharp.
Yep, sharp. Yep, and IMGs. Yep.
IMGs.
You
He
know,
does work
so
with blood as well.
yep.
Opals.
hmm He's the opal. He's the opal goat right there. He's the man with
Needs
the
to send us
opals.
off a couple over here, man.
Well, I'm not too
Oh,
far from him. I can get
see,
to
the
him
good
quick.
thing about Mint is that Mint is like the premium version of, like you could say, he's like a Dillard's or a Macy's. You know, you walk in, you expect to pay a big buck, but you know you're gonna get a good thing.
Great animals, quality, and then and not only that, you have a friend forever right there.
Yeah.
You know,
And like I said, man, that man can create some quality. But when you want quality, you got to make sure you got the money for it.
yep, yep.
And that's
But Tim,
what
Tim is a
comes with
great
this as
guy.
well. Breeding is not about just gifts and flourishing.
Yep. I mean,
Can you hear
on
me, man?
here
Or
we
you cut
got,
off?
yeah, we're here. Like Adam has some snakes from Tim. So does Diamond. Diamond has two. I think Greg has two that's on here. There's a few guys, you know. Diamond dropped a litter not so long ago himself, like pretty cool. Um Now we got good guys, man. There's a lot of good guys out there, and that's the ones we want to speak to. We don't want to speak to the ones that their noses are up here. There's no need for that.
Yep.
We're all trying to learn, and why not help out and just teach? So
Yep.
the breeders that'll be coming on here for sure. The cool ones, you'll see. These guys are gonna enjoy. Trust me. A lot of surprises
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
There's even going to be people that are not in the United States coming on here. That's the
Oh,
only thing
yeah.
I could say about that. So
We're going
it's gonna
down to Mexico.
Mexico, Europe. Oh yeah. I mean, George is real close to Mexico, so he can actually go. There's some pretty cool boa breeders out in Mexico. So
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna be talking to a lot of them, and there's a lot of them out there that a lot of people don't know about. They don't really promote much, but we're gonna put it out there. Bring the cool guys on. Yeah.
It's
I
a
mean,
it's a good plethora of people that you have lined up, man.
yep.
And with the investigation of boas, because if Manny wouldn't have had that interest of saying, "Hey, I want to get into boas," he wouldn't have had the interest of researching all of these profiles on Instagram or people who were interested into boas, and he wouldn't have met these people. So
Yeah.
always follow your instinct. You know, whether you want to do something, try it out. You might meet some new people along the way. You might hate what you're doing, but hey, you met those nice people.
Yep. Yep. No, I mean, there's a lot of guys I could say that got me into the boas. I mean, started with you. Um, Diamond was one of them too. Tim used to tell me all the time on my lives or when I used to go on his TikTok and said, get a boa, get out of those big things, get out of those big things, and either research them. Get away from that. And then Hoppy, there was another one on TikTok that right now he doesn't have anything, but he will be coming back soon. There's another one, like I made great friends and they all had boas, and I'm like, man, they kept telling me like, get yourself a boa, get yourself a boa, and I'm like, all right, I guess, and I did it, and look, I fell in love, and that's it. There's no turning back. This is all I want.
And you don't have to drop so much. You know, a lot of people say it's a big investment to actually put into these animals. Manny is sitting behind or in front of these enclosures, and these enclosures didn't cost him an arm and a leg. He put in some time. Yeah, it might have taken him a couple months to gather them all together, but we'll be promoting these people, the ones he has been getting these enclosures from. One of them is Matrix X, I believe it is, or
Yeah,
Matrix.
Matrix,
That
yeah,
is
Rax.
a Chinese-owned company, I believe.
Yep. And all my enclosures are all dubious, and I'm gonna prove that I can do it with dubious.
Yeah, it's a lot of conflict between whether that you are able to breed in a dubia or not. But Manny is going to prove it wrong. Let's see.
Yep. I mean,
Diamond said it's hard not to love a Manny.
they
He said boa. It's hard not to love a boa.
It's I mean, I slowly but shortly, it's um I'm soon in the process of moving too, so I'm gonna have more space. So you know what that means? More space, more.
Chris,
Uh,
my camera went out, so you're just hearing my beautiful voice right now instead of my beautiful face.
yeah, but yeah. I mean, again, I want to give a shout out to Chris from Untamed and Unhinged for shouting us out on his podcast today. These guys should go subscribe to his channel too. Got a lot of all types of stuff, all types of reptiles, and of course to my boy Mint Boas. Big shout out to him too for helping me get to this because 99% of my snakes are all from him. Yep. So I want to thank everybody, man. Everybody that's on here watching us right now, and just keep supporting us. We got a lot more to come. That's for sure. We're not giving up neither.
That
From
is for
here,
sure, my man.
straight to the top. That's it.
And
And
down because we got ups and downs. Let me tell you that there's
yeah,
gonna be
but
times
we're
we're gonna
we're,
be on the
we're
low, but we're gonna
we
have
might
those
just we're not gonna come low. We're just gonna hit a speed bump. Not that
speed
low.
bumps.
Just
Yeah,
take it
yeah,
easy.
yeah. We got a little bump.
Yeah, positive, brother.
Positive thinking. Yeah.
Yep. And
Well,
of
you
course,
gotta.
I want to thank my buddy George here, my brother, man, for helping me all with this to get this started. Everybody should thank him too, because if it wasn't for him, this would not be happening. Because me, I don't know how to do none of this crap. So yeah, there's a lot more to come, and just make sure everybody subscribes and follows our Instagram, Boa Nation TV, and our TikTok, because that's where everything's gonna be happening, so everybody can see what's going on and new videos and what's coming, and so just keep on supporting us, and we really appreciate you guys for real. We really do. Yep.
Chris
But
said,
my
shout out to the mentors, and then we have Nate Miller. They are more hard to breed and have
yeah,
success and requires lots of patience. So the people doing boas truly are in it for the love. And
yep,
that's what kind of sets the tone for this stage. Boas are not something easy. That's where a lot of people give up in this industry or this hobby because it becomes more about whether I'm going to produce this next season. If I don't, I'm going to kill you, throw you in the freezer, or sell you.
yep.
Um, and then Mint Boa says, "Thank you, homie."
Anytime,
That's rightfully
anytime.
said. Thank you, Adam. Um, yeah, it looks like those were the rest of the chats.
Yeah. It. You know what? There's boa keepers, and then there's Nate actually said this to me once, and I was like, he's right. How is it? There's boa keepers, and then there's boa people. It's two
Uh-huh.
different things.
Yeah, because the keepers are only going to keep it for the aficionado themselves.
No,
And sometimes,
the keepers are like what we are, like what I had. Boa
yeah,
people, they come and go.
mm, that is true.
They're not real boa people, like real boa keepers.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
can
when
say.
and Nate should know a lot because he works for a really big breeder, JCP. There's a lot of up and downs in this, and Tim has told me too. There's times that things don't go where we want it to go.
You slug
Sometimes
out.
and sometimes females don't make it. You know, that's why it's like, yeah,
That's the that's the hard truth to swallow
yeah,
there, man. A lot of people think
So
these
it's like
snakes
this is
are
something that
for
when you get into, you really got to think about it. But man, yeah, you get attached to these animals like crazy, and it's like, man, if something like that happens, it's like, geez, like, but it's part of the game basically, and it's got to keep it going, man. Can't let it stop you. It's all part of the game.
it, it's a nice process to follow when you have people behind you.
Yep.
When you're fishing out alone, it's kind of like I'm pairing these two snakes together. Let's hope for the best. And not going to say it might not work, but when you have somebody helping you and pushing you forward, like your mentor, like Mitt or Tim,
Yep.
man, it's refreshing to hear because the people that I would reach out to, I'm not saying that they weren't helpful, but to actually have somebody under your arm guiding you through the process of breeding, that takes a different type of person, man. It's not
Yeah.
just a robot trying to sell you a snake and hey, kumbaya, see you next time you got your money ready so I can get hustle you out for another snake.
No, man.
Nah, man. I
Like,
have never heard of a man. I mean, probably ourselves with exotics and aquatics, but been told that they're actually reaching out in regards to a snake. And I do this periodically, maybe once or twice a year. I go back on the snakes that I sold, and then we start getting them to that conversation. Hey, how's your snake doing? What's going on? Not a lot of breeders do that because
nope.
they forget about the fact that they had sold that snake. It's more about them just making a sell and on to the next. But
Yep.
if you go on to Tim's Morph Market, you'll be able to see all of his repertoire. Everyone's happy with him. There's no bad reviews, five
Nope.
stars. Reason being because this man is put forward. And I haven't met the guy personally like Manny. Well, this is all just hid from ear. And that's why I know it's true because when a person gets whispered from another person, it's because it's true. And if a person is not hearing the good stuff, it means that there obviously some animosity between that person or the other, or they're actually shit. But I started hearing good shit about Tim and I saw it reflecting. And a lot of the other breeders don't put the same effort and time into their mentorees, the people that they're helping out. And Manny, look how fast he flourished. Within 3 months, this guy got 11 snakes. Within 3 months. That's
Yep.
insane.
And then it's like, remember, it's like somebody gets an animal from you. That's a new friend of yours. That person's gonna be your friend until that snake is alive, 20 years, whatever it is. And you got to be there for them. It's not just like here you go, bye, have a good one. I don't care about you no more. No, man, you got to take pride in what you do too. You
Absolutely.
you made that animal, beautiful animal. No matter what, in somebody else's hands, they paid for it or whatever, but that's your animal. You made that thing,
Absolutely.
and you got to take pride in that. So like even like as I'm an upcoming breeder, that's the way I think. Is like you buy a snake from me, I'm your best friend forever, man. I'm gonna be there for you all the time. Any
Well, yeah, man,
questions?
because that snake is like your child. You
That's
bred
it.
that snake.
Yep, yep. And Tim is like that. I know Diamond is like that too. He's sold boas of his too, and anybody that buys boas from them, they listen. Anytime you got questions, we're there for that. But no, it's gonna be fun, man. I'm very excited for all this. And it's I mean, me and George spoke like, no, we won't be on there for long. It's just gonna be a little introduction, and man, we're almost going on an hour.
Might as well just call it in 4 minutes, man. It looks like he
Yeah,
just said yes. A good way to put it. There is a difference between a boa keeper and a boa person slash boa fan. Anyone can keep a boa, but to truly be in love with them and be a boa person requires a special passion.
there you go. See, who's that with Nate, right?
Yep. And
Yep.
then Diamond says, "I love getting updates on animals I've sold." Absolutely, man.
Yeah, man.
It's like
It
a
makes it
euphoric
makes you
feeling.
feel good. It makes you feel good. Like yes, like it makes you feel great. I mean, I still haven't produced, so I can't even, but I'm excited for that, to meet different people when they buy an animal for me, and I'm like, oh man, getting all these updates, like they're doing so good and they're big, they're healthy, things like, it's great, man. I'm excited. I am so excited. It just it's like,
That excitement I haven't heard, man. You had a lot of species, and I never heard that excitement. You were
oh yeah.
always looking on the negative side because of the fear,
You're
and that's something
can't
that
hear you,
a
George.
lot of. Can you hear me now, brother?
Very low, very low,
How about now?
very low.
I think my microphone just went off. Let me see. Hold on.
Sometimes you go on, you go high, you come low.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. It looks like I didn't have you on the mic. Where were we at, brother? We were talking about
The excitement.
excitement.
Yeah.
You weren't that excited with other species. The excitement didn't come because of fear, and that's the thing, man. Once we remove fear from what we really want to do, or the bullshit of what people would say or whatever. And I'll use this since a mainframe. Like we were speaking maybe a couple months ago about Botanica that I opened up, the whole online shop. And you sat down and told me, you were like, man, are you sure you really want to do this shit? And then I came up to you and I told you, I was like, hey man, I'm gonna start singing because I'm doing this at school. And you're like, are you sure you want to do this shit? And and I sat there and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do this whether anybody tells me or not. And then next thing you know it, I see Manny doing the same shit, doing what he wants because he wants to do what he wants.
I mean, I got my great wife too that supports me, is behind me on this too.
And
because
he was very stern about this.
yes,
I've got a lot of scolding from Manny's wife.
she's
She's
rough,
like, I'll tell you that.
but she knows it's something that I love, and it's something and she supports me, and now I'm very happy that my little gonna be 3-year-old, that kid wants to be up in this room all the time. He will cry and cry. He loves us. So I'm praying. So him liking this too. I'm only getting older. I mean, it'll be fun for me and him to do things together, and maybe one day he can take over everything and for himself.
Especially since he's gonna be taller than you, then you'll have some great help.
I don't know about him being tall. I mean, he might be a little taller than me, but yeah. Well, George is the tallest Mexican I've ever seen in my life. So it's like
Manny's in New Jersey. I'm in Arizona. Manny hasn't seen Mexicans as they are out here on the West Coast.
But
East Coast gets those Hondurans, right?
Where, over here?
Yeah, you get Hondurans out there in the East Coast.
We got all mix, but we got a mix of everything here. But it's crazy because like me and George, we know each other for many years, and it's like we used to talk FaceTime or through the phone and stuff. I knew he was tall, and when he showed up here at my house, I'm like, God, this guy's like a giraffe, bro. Like, what the hell? like this dude is Mexican. He's that big. Like, man. But George knows it's all love, man. We always mess around like that.
We walked in, man, and I saw his Crocs. I thought it was his children's Crocs. It was actually his Crocs.
But it's George he's stayed here in my house before. He's like family to me, man, and he knows that.
Oh yeah, we've had our ups and downs. We've grown with each other and learned a lot.
Yeah.
The brotherhood that people can build by just letting go of who we think we are is amazing. Because I've grown spiritually, I've grown ethically within my own self and my own mentality with my brother. Why? Because we tid on our ideas. We have somebody to reflect on. And I'm not saying that I don't do that with my spouse, of course, or with my family members or my kids. But when you have a brotherhood or a sistership built up and you have somebody to share these ideas and pour that into, you grow because you're contradicting each other. It's not a kumbaya relationship, because that's not a relationship. You have to have some type of grit against each other and say, hey man, you're fucking up. I see through this shit. It's gonna go this way. I'm letting you know, but you don't listen, and that's the type of brotherhood you have to follow. And that's what led us to this podcast. We trusted each other. We know that we don't have the same ideas, and that's what makes a good conversation, because if we're all agreeing on the same shit, then there's nothing to learn.
Trust me, it's going to be a fun journey. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, brother. Well, with that said, is there anything else we need to say for today?
No, I just want to thank everybody. I appreciate everybody that came on and watched, and keep supporting us, man. And just keep, make sure to follow our Instagram, subscribe, follow our TikTok, and things are gonna be happening. Are gonna be posted up everywhere. These guys gonna There's gonna be something. There's gonna be every Saturday around the same time. Maybe sometimes it'll change, maybe a little earlier, depending on when George. We can do a little early, we can do a little earlier, but most of the time it's going to be around this time because his
The
time.
problem is that we're on East Coast and West
Yeah.
Coast. So I'm in
So
Arizona and Manny's in Jersey. And if we look at those time frames, is we might have to do some scheduling earlier because there's a lot of East Coasters that are boa breeders. So we might be doing within the next 2 months more of the earlier podcast.
mhm.
Once we start rolling out more throughout the week, then we might be doing some a little bit later because our kiddos and whatnot.
Yep.
But
But
that being said, brother, Boa Nation TV, BoaNationTV.com, Boa Nation TV on YouTube, Boa Nation TV on TikTok. Make sure to follow us, subscribe, and always turn on the notification bell.
yes,
Make
sir.
sure to always guide with love. We'll see you
Yep.
later.
You got it, guys. Thank you.